drops to the greatest hits. This is Trash Can Tidbits.
Hey there everyone, I'm Beaton, and I'm your fuzzbutt raccoon friend bringing you another set of fun trivia for Trash Can Tidbits. I'm back from Anthrocon, I'm all rested up, and ready to continue with some more stuff for you. I hope you liked my 2 videos where I'm at the AC Jazz concert, but I'll talk about my experiences with that another time, so stay tuned. Last time, I asked the question, which Donald Duck cartoon first featured a female love interest for him, and what was her name? The answer is Don Donald, and her name was Donna Duck. Released in 1937, the cartoon features Donald in a Mexican setting attempting to woo a female duck named Donna by trading his donkey for a car in an attempt to impress her, and inevitably, hijinks happen. It was the first to be billed as a Donald Duck cartoon. This cartoon was also the only time Donna appeared, as she would later be reworked into Daisy for the cartoon Mr. Duck Steps Out. Donna, however, would later be retconned into Daisy's rival in the 50s for a Disney comic strip. Now with that addressed, let's get started with fact number 1. Did you know that the legendary Dick Van Dyke considered himself to be miscast as Bert in Mary Poppins? Though he said that Mary Poppins is the best movie he has appeared in and regards it as his all-time favorite film of his own, he nevertheless felt slightly miscast because of his inability to do a correct Cockney accent, which he felt hurt his acting. He maintains to this day that as the only American in the main cast, someone who was actually British would have played the part better, his suggestions being the likes of Ron Moody or Jim Dale. Dale would go on to play the villain Dr. Terminus in Disney's Pete's Dragon, and Ron Moody is best known for playing Fagin in both the stage and film versions of the musical Oliver. Interestingly enough, Van Dyke was actually considered to play Fagin in Oliver before Ron Moody was allowed to reprise his stage role. Fact 2. Sticking with Mary Poppins for this next fact, did you know that despite the success of the song Feed the Birds, it's actually illegal to feed the birds at St. Paul's Cathedral in London? The song, Feed the Birds, which was Walt Disney's all-time favorite song, became the movie's theme of charity and selflessness, something himself Disney had aspired to for his entire life. In the movie, Mary Poppins sings it set to images of St. Paul's Cathedral in London, which is a location that Mr. George Banks comes to appreciate later on in the story. In real life, perhaps due to the success of the song, it caused tourists to feed the birds at that location. The City of London has since made that practice illegal because they got tired of having to clean up endless amounts of bird poop. Fact 3. Did you know that one gag from Raiders of the Lost Ark was reused from another Steven Spielberg movie? In Raiders, there's a scene where the villain character, Toht, confronts Marion Ravenwood inside the tent where she's trying to escape from the main villain, Belloc. Toht and his men produce what looks to be a torture device of 3 black bars connected by chains. After a few tense moments, he's able to turn the device into a coat hanger. Actor Paul Freeman, who played Belloc, said in an interview that Spielberg had used this in his previous film, 1941, which had Christopher Lee as a Nazi submarine captain use the same gag with the character played by Slim Pickens. It ultimately didn't work and the scene was deleted, but Spielberg was able to successfully resurrect the gag for Raiders and got a big laugh from both the cast and crew on set and the audience, largely due in part to Ronald Lacey's intimidating performance as Toht throughout the scene. Fact 4. Did you know that one deleted song from Disney's Aladdin was later reworked into the Broadway version? Early drafts of the script had Aladdin's mother as part of the story, and he was supposed to sing a song to her called Proud of Your Boy. Even though Aladdin is a street thief, he's determined to do whatever it takes to make his mother proud. The song was one of the last written by famed Disney lyricist Howard Ashman, who died of AIDS as the movie was entering the first stages of production as Beauty and the Beast was being finished. The song was deeply personal to Ashman, and it's a shame to his memory that it was deleted because the producers decided that Aladdin should be an orphan and cut out his mother altogether. Almost 20 years later, the song was inserted into the Aladdin Broadway musical and gives the character some much-needed development. It did not even occur to the movie producers that Aladdin could have sung the song to his deceased mother, which is the case with the Broadway show. The song is also included in the movie's deleted scenes with composer Alan Menken singing it, and he actually has a wonderful voice, too. Fact 5. Did you know that James Bond author Ian Fleming originally modeled a Bond girl character after an actress who appeared in one of the films? Fleming himself lived to see the release of the first 2 films, Dr. No and From Russia with Love. During production of Dr. No, he was a frequent visitor to the outdoor locations in Jamaica where he had a summer home. He became smitten with actress Ursula Andress, who was playing the bikini-clad Honey Rider. Fleming was so taken by her natural beauty that he used her features as the model for the character Tracy DiVincenzo in his next Bond novel, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and even mentioned her by name. Tracy herself would be played by Diana Rigg in the actual film based on the novel. Fact 6. Did you know that the infamous prom destruction scene in Carrie is slightly different in the original Stephen King story? In the book, after Carrie is pranked with the pig's blood being dumped on her, she is so shocked that she ends up running out of the gymnasium. And then, from the outside of the school, she uses her psychic powers to destroy everything and everyone inside, being strictly an observer. For the original film, however, it was changed so that she stands static on stage and unleashes her fury on everyone, as if she's looking down on her tormentors over years of abuse. Every subsequent adaptation has staged the destruction scene so that she is on the stage completely emotionless as her revenge finally comes out. Fact 7. Did you know that Harrison Ford seriously hurt his back during the making of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? There were no shortage of injuries Ford sustained while playing Indy, but in Temple of Doom, during one fight scene that took place in a bedroom, Ford, fighting a thuggy cultist, did a forward flip that sent the stuntman flying, but then he let out a horrible scream. He'd herniated his back so badly that he had to be flown back to the US for emergency surgery. He was out for 6 weeks while he recovered, and in the meantime, stuntman Vic Armstrong took over for most of the action sequences in long shot that didn't involve showing his face. When Ford came back from his recovery fully healed and resumed filming his close-ups, the editing seamlessly shows Ford and Armstrong giving solid stunt work. In fact, during the making of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Ford allegedly got so into doing his own stunts that Armstrong took him aside and asked Ford to let him do some of the work. Fact 8. Did you know that the final scene in The Godfather Part 2 was rewritten on the spot when an important actor failed to show up on the day it was being filmed? The final scene shows one final flashback. The entire Corleone family assembling to surprise their patriarch, Don Vito Corleone, for his birthday. The scene would have had Marlon Brando reprising his iconic role at the end of the film in a cameo, noting that Robert De Niro played his younger self in the entire movie through flashbacks. The scene would have culminated in son Michael announcing that he had joined the Marines in response to the attack on Pearl Harbor. However, Brando did not show up for filming, allegedly because he was unhappy with his payment for the first film. As such, director Francis Ford Coppola rewrote the scene on the spot, giving the Dons lines of disappointment to other characters such as Michael's brother Sonny and their friend Tom. Michael's other brother, Fredo, however, would be the only one to show any support for him. A twisted case of irony, as Michael had Fredo killed earlier in the film. The scene ends when the family runs out of frame to greet the Don at the front door, and leaving Michael alone at the dinner table, contemplating his future. Coppola expressed satisfaction, as the scene turned out much better without Brando's involvement. Fact 9. Did you know that the leading actors from 2 films from Universal Pictures from nearly a decade apart were nearly killed by hanging? In Back to the Future Part 3, released in 1990, Marty McFly is being chased by the film's villain, Mad Dog Tannen, and very nearly hanged before being saved by Doc Brown. What nobody realized is that while the scene called for Michael J. Fox to have a noose around his neck, the safety mechanism malfunctioned and he was actually being hanged. The footage of him about to lose consciousness actually appears in the film. Fortunately, they were able to get him down and resuscitate him just in time. Similarly, almost a decade later, in 1999's The Mummy, Brendan Fraser's character, Rick O'Connell, is also hanged in an Egyptian prison before being set free by the female lead character, Evelyn. Fraser's harness to protect him also malfunctioned, and he very nearly died. Rachel Weisz, who played Evelyn, recalled that he actually did pass out and also had to be resuscitated. Jeez, the things these actors do for the sake of their art, am I right? Fact 10. Did you know that singer Sammy Davis Jr. auditioned for a part in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Davis, best known for being a member of the Rat Pack, which included the likes of Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin among others, wanted to play the candy shop owner, Bill. Davis was too well known at the time and would have distracted from the rest of the film, so he was turned down. Bill instead would be played by actor Aubrey Woods, and got to sing one of the movie's best known songs, The Candyman. Anthony Newley, who wrote the songs with lyricist Leslie Bricusse, was also considered to play Bill, but was again deemed too well known. Though Sammy Davis Jr. didn't get the part, he did end up making The Candyman into one of his signature songs as a result. His version of it debuted alongside the movie and ended up on the Billboard Hot 100 charts of 1971. And here's today's trivia question. Alfred Hitchcock's film North by Northwest is considered one of his best films. It tells the story of Roger Thornhill, played by Cary Grant, an advertising executive who gets mistaken for a spy and is chased across the country and gets into all kinds of action-packed situations. One character he meets up with throughout the story is a mysterious blonde woman named Eve Kendall, played by Eva Marie Saint, who helps him evade capture. In one scene, set at the Mount Rushmore Visitor Center, Eve pretends to shoot Thornhill. Just before she does shoot him, though, there's a very noticeable blooper that happens in the background. My question to you is, what blooper is seen in the background before Eva Marie Saint shoots Cary Grant in North by Northwest? And there we go for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed what I brought you this week. Definitely stay tuned for more. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell to be notified for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.